a man so rich, his pilgrimage to Mecca crashed Egypt's economy for a decade, a city where books were worth more than gold, where scholars debated while Europe burned witches, streets literally paved with wealth. Then it vanished, buried beneath sand and silence. This is Timbuktu, and you've been lied to about everything. 1324, Emperor Mansa Musa leaves Timbuktu for Mecca. His caravan, 60,000 men, 80 camels carrying 300 pounds of gold each. He gave away so much gold in Cairo that its value dropped 25% and took 12 years to recover. Economists today estimate his wealth at $400 billion. Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, poor by comparison. European maps labeled Timbuktu the city of gold. They believed streets were paved with it, roofs plated with it. Children played with gold nuggets like toys. The truth, even more insane, gold was so common, scholars preferred books. One manuscript cost more than 100 ounces of gold. Knowledge was the real currency, and Timbuktu was the world's wealthiest library. While Europe's Oxford taught 1,500 students, Sankore University in Timbuktu taught 25,000. Law, astronomy, medicine, mathematics. Professors debated algebra invented in Baghdad. They calculated eclipses with precision, performed cataract surgeries while European barbers still bled patients. The largest collection of manuscripts south of the Sahara, 700,000 texts, some still undeciphered. Timbuktu sat at the crossroads of everything. Salt from Saharan mines worth its weight in gold. Gold from forests flowing north. Ivory, slaves, spices, ideas, merchants from Morocco, Egypt. Even Venice negotiated beneath mud brick arches. One transaction could fund a kingdom. One mistake could cost your life. The Sahara wasn't a barrier, it was a highway, and Timbuktu controlled every lane. Mansa Musa commissions architect Abu Ishaq al-Saheli to build the Jingwareba Mosque. Mud bricks baked under the African sun. Timber from Sahel forests. Wooden spikes jutting from walls like ribs, not decoration. Scaffolding. Every year citizens replaster the mosque by hand. 700 years later, still standing, still prayed in, a living monument to engineering genius. In Timbuktu, scholars were celebrities. Poets recited in marketplaces. Mathematicians solved equations in cafes. Families hoarded manuscripts like treasure. One library held 20,000 books. Astronomy charts mapping constellations. Medical texts describing surgeries. Legal debates challenging Islamic law. Meanwhile, in Europe, the Inquisition burned heretics. Timbuktu debated ideas. Mali's queens ruled beside kings, not consorts, co-rulers. Women owned businesses, led armies, controlled trade routes. Mansa Musa's wife managed the empire while he traveled. Female scholars taught at Sankore. Property laws protected women's inheritance rights. Compare that to Europe, where women were burned as witches for reading. Timbuktu's women, they wrote the books. 1591, Morocco invades. Guns versus spears. Gunpowder versus gold. Timbuktu falls. Soldiers loot libraries, burn manuscripts. Scholars flee into the desert, books strapped to camels. Families bury texts in caves. The intellectual capital of Africa, erased in months. Moroccan chroniclers wrote, "We found no gold, only useless books." Those useless books held 1,000 years of African genius. Europeans finally reached Timbuktu in 1828. They expected gold palaces, found mud buildings, declared it a myth, a primitive backwater, wrote in journals, nothing but sand and savages. Colonial textbooks erased Mali from history, labeled Africa the continent without civilization. The lie spread for 200 years. Museums locked manuscripts away. Universities ignored them. The narrative, Africa had no history. The truth, they destroyed the evidence. 1970s. South African apartheid ends. Scholars return to Timbuktu. Families whisper of hidden manuscripts, buried in walls, sealed in clay jars, stashed in attics for 400 years. One family reveals 30,000 texts. Another, 12,000. They pull them from sand, still intact. Chemistry formulas, star maps, poetry. The knowledge Europe claimed never existed, still here, still readable, still revolutionary. 2012. Islamic extremists seize Timbuktu, target the libraries. These texts are heresy, they scream. Torch 4,000 manuscripts. Librarians risk death smuggling books out in donkey carts, metal trunks, hidden in grain sacks. One man saves 300,000 texts, hides them in his home. When asked why he risked his life, he said, "Without these, we are nothing. With them, we are everything." Today, the manuscripts live again. Google digitizes them. Universities translate them. One text reveals cancer treatments using herbal compounds. Another describes a peace treaty predating the Geneva Conventions. Chemistry formulas lost to time. Algebra solutions that predate European discoveries by 300 years. Timbuktu didn't just have civilization, it invented half of what we call modern knowledge. For 700 years, Timbuktu was the brain of Africa. For 200 years, colonizers told you it was a myth. For 50 years, extremists tried to burn it to ash. But you can't destroy knowledge, you can only bury it. And what's buried always comes back. Timbuktu fell, but its ideas, immortal, its legacy, unkillable, and now, AI resurrects what history tried to erase. This is Timbuktu, the city that proved Africa's genius. If you want more erased empires brought back to life, subscribe now. Next, we're reconstructing Great Zimbabwe. The stone city colonizers said Africans couldn't build. You won't believe what we found.